Picture this. It's the morning of January 15th, 1969, in Brighton, Michigan, and a small group of Kar Kraft employees are standing around a partially assembled Ford Mustang on the floor of a building that does not appear on any Ford corporate organizational chart. Officially, this facility does not exist. It is not part of the Ford River Rouge complex. It is not listed in the Ford annual report. The address is known to fewer than 50 people in the entire Ford Motor Company. And on this specific morning, somebody pops the cork on a bottle of champagne. Because rolling out the door of this unmarked Michigan facility is a machine that will quietly become the most desirable production Mustang ever built. The first Boss 429, job number 1, stamped with the secret factory code KK1201. A car that will eventually sell at auction for more money than most American houses cost.
But the strangest thing about that first Boss 429 is not how it was built. It is why it was built. Because the engine sitting under that giant black hood scoop was never meant to race in a Mustang. It was never meant to win on a quarter-mile drag strip. It was never meant to be a street car at all. The Boss 429 was a Trojan horse, a trick, a regulatory loophole disguised as a muscle car. And the men who built it knew on that champagne-popping morning in January of 1969 that they were participating in one of the most expensive corporate gambles in the history of American automotive racing. A gamble that, by the time the last Boss 429 rolled out that same Brighton, Michigan factory door, would already be over, lost before the car ever got the chance to fight. Today, we are going to break down 20 shocking facts about the 1969 Boss 429 Mustang that even longtime Mustang collectors have never heard. Some of these will change how you understand the entire muscle car era. One of them will probably make you reconsider what horsepower numbers from 1969 actually mean. Before we get into it, hit subscribe and drop a comment with the next muscle car you want us to cover. The one with the most likes becomes our next video. Let's get into it.
Fact number 20. The Boss 429 was not built to be a Mustang. It was built to be a NASCAR engine. By 1968, Chrysler's 426 Hemi was dominating NASCAR's Grand National division, today known as the Cup Series. Ford had powerful engines of their own, the 427, the 428 Cobra Jet, but neither of them was designed around the new Ford 385 engine family, which Ford executives wanted to use as the foundation for their next-generation racing program. The problem was NASCAR's homologation rule. To be legal in NASCAR competition, an engine had to be installed in at least 500 production cars sold to the general public. Ford needed to find a way to get the 429 cubic inch semi-hemispherical engine into 500 street cars as fast as possible. The Mustang was selected as the host platform, not because it was the best choice,
but because Ford wanted the Mustang name attached to its newest racing weapon. Fact number 19. The engine bay of the 1969 Mustang was not wide enough to fit the Boss 429. This was not a minor packaging problem. The Boss 429 engine, with its massive cylinder heads and wide-spaced exhaust ports, was physically too large to fit between the Mustang's stock shock towers. Ford had a choice: redesign the entire Mustang front end, or contract the modification work out to a specialty engineering shop. They chose the second option. The company they chose was Kar Kraft, a small engineering contractor based in Brighton, Michigan. Kar Kraft was already legendary inside Ford for one specific reason. They had helped build the Ford GT40, the car that ended Ferrari's dominance at Le Mans. If anyone could solve the Boss 429 packaging problem, it was Kar Kraft.
Fact number 18. Every single Boss 429 Mustang was built twice. First, at Ford's River Rouge plant in Dearborn, Michigan, where a partially assembled 428 Cobra Jet sports roof body was constructed. Then shipped to Kar Kraft's facility in Brighton, where the car was effectively taken apart and rebuilt. The shock towers were widened, the inner fender aprons were cut and reconstructed. The front suspension geometry was completely revised. The battery was relocated to the trunk to offset the weight of the massive engine. Each car spent days at the Kar Kraft facility being hand-modified by technicians who treated the work more like custom race car fabrication than production line assembly. The total number of man-hours per Boss 429 was several times higher than a standard Mustang. Fact number 17. Every Boss 429 was given a unique identification number that had nothing to do with Ford's official VIN system. The KK numbers, which stood for Kar Kraft, started at KK1201 for the very first Boss 429 built on January 15, 1969, and ended at KK2558 for the last one produced. That KK plate was riveted to the inside of the driver's door, alongside a special NASCAR identification tag explaining the car's purpose.
Fact number 16. Ford officially rated the Boss 429 at 375 horsepower. This was a complete lie. Industry estimates at the time and independent dyno testing in the decades since have consistently put the actual street horsepower at closer to 500 horsepower. In NASCAR race trim, with proper headers and timing, the engine produced over 600 horsepower. The 1970 crane cams test of a stock Boss 429 measured 366 horsepower with just one modification, replacing the cast iron exhaust manifolds with tubular headers. The reason Ford underrated the engine was simple. Higher official horsepower ratings meant higher insurance premiums for buyers. Ford wanted the Boss 429 to be insurable, so they lied to the government, lied to the insurance companies, and let the buyers find out the truth the first time they put their foot down on a Detroit highway. Fact number 15. The Boss 429 received the largest factory hood scoop ever installed on a production Mustang. To this day, more than 5 decades later, that record still stands. No production Mustang before or since has worn a hood scoop that big.
And unlike many cosmetic scoops of the era, the Boss 429 scoop was fully functional. It fed cold air directly to the engine's air cleaner through a sealed ram air system. In 1969, the scoop was painted body color. In 1970, every Boss 429 got the scoop painted matte black, regardless of the body color. That single styling change is one of the most reliable ways to identify a 1970 Boss 429 from across a parking lot today.
Fact number 14. Air conditioning was not available on the Boss 429. Not as an option, not at any price. The engine was so large that there was literally no room left in the engine bay for a compressor. Ford did not even include the option on the order sheet. If you bought a Boss 429 in 1969 or 1970, you accepted that you would sweat through every summer drive. This was during the same period when air conditioning was rapidly becoming standard equipment on American cars. The Boss 429 was a deliberate engineering compromise. Comfort was sacrificed for racing engine packaging. Buyers who wanted both performance and air conditioning bought a different Mustang. Fact number 13. Every Boss 429 came with a 4-speed manual transmission. No automatic was ever offered. No automatic was ever even considered. The car came exactly one way, with a top-loader close ratio 4-speed bolted to the back of the engine. This was unusual for the era. Almost every other muscle car offered an automatic option because most American buyers preferred them. The Boss 429 was Ford signaling that this was not a car for casual buyers. If you could not drive a manual, you did not get to own a Boss 429. The decision filtered the buyer pool down to drivers who understood exactly what they were buying.
Fact number 12. The Boss 429 was the first Mustang ever fitted with a rear sway bar. The reason was simple. With the massive 429 engine pushed back into the firewall and the battery relocated to the trunk, the car still had significantly more weight over the front wheels than any previous Mustang. Without the rear sway bar, the handling would have been undrivable. The 3/4-inch rear sway bar that Kar Kraft installed turned the Boss 429 into the best handling big block Mustang of the era. Period road tests consistently noted that the car cornered better than its weight distribution should have allowed. The Kar Kraft engineers had effectively solved a packaging problem and a handling problem at the same time. Fact number 11. Some early Boss 429 engines were significantly more powerful than the ones that followed. Cars built with what was called the S-Code engine had magnesium valve covers, NASCAR-style forged internal components, and virtually no smog or emissions equipment. These were essentially street-legal NASCAR engines. Later cars with the T-Code and A-Code engines had the same basic architecture but added emissions equipment that reduced peak power.
Collectors today specifically hunt for S-code Boss 429s because they are the rarest and most powerful. A documented S-code car can command auction premiums of tens of thousands of dollars over an equivalent T-code or A-code example.
Fact number 10. The Boss 429 was nearly twice the price of a base model Mustang. In 1969, a Boss 429 retailed at approximately $4,900. A standard inline-six Mustang sold for around $2,600. For roughly the price of two regular Mustangs, you could own one Boss 429. Adjusted for inflation, the 1969 sticker price would be approximately $42,000 in 2026 money. The price tag was deliberately high. Ford wanted to filter buyers towards serious collectors and racers, not casual cruisers. The strategy worked. Most Boss 429s ended up in the hands of owners who treated them with care. That is one of the main reasons so many original examples have survived to the present day. Fact number 9. The Boss 429 name was coined by an automotive designer named Larry Shinoda. Shinoda had been hired by Ford specifically to develop the Boss project for Ford president Simon Bunky Knudsen. Knudsen had just joined Ford after years at General Motors, and he wanted to make a statement that would announce his arrival. The name Boss was internally Shinoda's nickname for Knudsen. When the project went public, the Boss name stuck. Today, the Boss badge is one of the most respected designations in Ford history, but it started as a private joke between a designer and a newly hired company president.
Fact number 8. The Boss 429 engine never raced in a Boss 429 Mustang. Not once. Not in a single official NASCAR race. The Mustang body was simply not the right platform for NASCAR superspeedway racing. The engine that the Boss 429 was built to homologate ended up powering Ford Torino Talladegas and Mercury Cyclone Spoiler 2s on the NASCAR ovals. The Mustang chassis was used for the homologation requirement and then largely ignored once the engines were legalized. This is one of the deepest ironies in muscle car history. The car that gave the engine its name never actually raced with it. Fact number 7. Ford produced 859 Boss 429s in 1969 and 499 in 1970 for a total of 1,358 units. 2 additional Boss 429 Cougars were built for the Lincoln Mercury Race Division, bringing the absolute production total to 1,360 cars across 2 years. Compare that to the standard 1969 Mustang, which Ford sold over 300,000 units of in the same year. The Boss 429 represented less than half of 1% of total Mustang production. The rarity is genuine.
Fact number 6. The Boss 429 racing program was canceled before the car ever fulfilled its purpose. Soon after Ford had met the NASCAR homologation requirement and delivered the required production cars to dealerships, a leadership change at Ford resulted in the company quietly shutting down its stock car racing program. The engine that the Boss 429 was built to legalize never got to race in the application it was designed for. Ford had spent enormous resources building 1,358 expensive specialty cars for a racing campaign that the company itself decided to abandon. The Boss 429 was a weapon that arrived after the war it was designed to fight had already ended. Fact number 5. The Boss 429's existence sometimes confused contemporary buyers. Period road test publications consistently noted that the car was slower in a quarter-mile drag race than the much cheaper 428 Cobra Jet Mustang. The Boss 429's big port heads and racing-oriented cam profile meant the engine made its real power at high RPM, which is exactly what NASCAR superspeedway racing demanded. At a drag strip where instant low-end torque mattered most, the 428 Cobra Jet often won. Buyers who wanted street performance for the lowest price bought the 428. Buyers who wanted the homologation special with the racing engine paid double for the Boss 429. The cars served different purposes, but the showroom math confused many shoppers in 1969.
Fact number 4. Some Boss 429 engines were eventually removed from the cars and installed in completely different applications. Because the engine produced so much torque, it became popular among tractor pullers and drag racers who needed maximum twisting force for short-duration competitions. Period photos show Boss 429 engines bolted into purpose-built tractor-pulling rigs, draft chassis, and even some experimental marine applications. The donor cars from which these engines were removed lost most of their value the moment the engine left the chassis. Today, Boss 429s without their original numbers-matching engines are still valuable, but they sell for significantly less than examples with the original engine installed and documented. Fact number 3. The Kar Kraft facility in Brighton, Michigan, where every Boss 429 was assembled, no longer exists as it was. Kar Kraft itself eventually closed down after Ford reduced its racing budget in the early 1970s. The Brighton facility was sold, repurposed, and eventually demolished. Today, there's essentially no physical trace remaining of the secret factory where the most desirable production Mustangs in history were built. Collectors and historians have spent decades piecing together what the inside of that facility looked like during the Boss 429 production run. Some former Kar Kraft employees have given interviews, some photographs have surfaced, but the complete story of what happened inside that building, on that production floor, during those 11 months in 1969 remains incompletely documented.
Fact number 2. Boss 429 values have climbed faster than almost any other classic American muscle car. A 1969 Boss 429 in good driving condition that sold for around $5,000 new can now sell for over $500,000 at auction. Concours-level restorations with documented S-code engines and original KK plates have crossed the $1 million mark at major collector car auctions in recent years. The 50th anniversary of the Boss 429 in 2019 triggered a surge in collector interest that has not slowed down. Boss 429s are now among the most valuable production Mustangs ever made, and the prices continue to climb as fewer original examples come to market each year. Fact number 1, and this is the fact that ties everything together. The 1969 Boss 429 Mustang is the only production Mustang in history that was deliberately built to be a piece of regulatory paperwork. Every other Mustang ever made was designed to be sold as a car, to be driven, raced, or collected on its own merits. The Boss 429 was designed to satisfy a NASCAR rule. The car itself was almost incidental. The entire purpose of the Boss 429 was to legalize an engine that would race in completely different cars. Ford built 1,358 production Mustangs, paid Kar Kraft to extensively hand-modify each one, sold them at a price that filtered out casual buyers, and then largely abandoned the racing program before the homologated engine had a chance to deliver the racing victories it was designed to win. The Boss 429 was, in every sense that matters, a regulatory document with wheels. And somehow, against everything that conventional automotive logic would predict, that strange origin turned the Boss 429 into the most desirable production Mustang ever built. The car that should have been forgotten as a corporate footnote became the holy grail of the muscle car era. The car that was never meant to be famous became immortal. That is the story of the 1969 Boss 429 Mustang. A Trojan horse built in a secret Michigan factory, sold at twice the price of a standard Mustang, equipped with an engine that was never allowed to race in the body it was installed in, abandoned by its own company before the racing campaign even started, and now worth more than entire neighborhoods.
A car that survived, not because of marketing or planning, but because of sheer accidental greatness. The Boss 429 was never supposed to matter. It just happened to be the most thoroughly engineered, most aggressively hand-built, most genuinely rare production Mustang in the history of Ford Motor Company. And today, more than 50 years after the last KK2558 rolled out of Brighton, Michigan, every Boss 429 that still exists is a survivor of a corporate gamble that, by every reasonable measurement, should have failed. If you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe, drop a comment with the next muscle car you want us to cover, and we'll see you on the next one.